Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, l'Italia Rugby Podcast. Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, l'Italia Rugby Podcast. Subscribe.
Welcome everyone in a new episode of Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, the Italian Rugby Podcast. Today is not the best podcast to record, but here we go, and here we are. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. How you doing?
All good. It's Monday. It's not that sweet Monday from last week, so this is a blue Monday kind. If we look back at the weekend,
The blues already.
yeah, I was thinking the title of the pod could have been Cardiff Blues, but then there is already Cardiff Blues, right? It was the blues.
That would have been a good one as well, actually. Yeah.
So that's it. But here we are, Mike. 31 points for Wales, 17 for Italy in the Cardiff stadium. Really, really warm, more than warm that stadium was. After 2 weeks ago, there was all this thing about other empty spots. No, this was the game, and fair play Wales first of all, because it's been a great game of rugby, tactical game of rugby by them. They did well in that half, but give me your opinion about what was wrong and why we lost.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I posted straight after the game saying you got to give credit to Wales. They took their chances. I think I saw at 30 minutes 3 entries and into the 22 and 7 points every entry in the first 30 minutes. So every time they went into the 22, they're coming away with points, I should say. And listen, like, we were slow to start, and you can't give good teams slow. You can't afford to start slow against good teams. It's the same discussion we had last Six Nations, right? Where we ended up playing when the game was already a bit out the way. So it's a tough pill to swallow, but I think we just have to give credit to Wales and say that the boys can lick their wounds and look back on actually what was overall like a pretty successful Six Nations.
Pretty successful, and probably we already. A lot of fans seems to be used to this kind of performance from Italy, which is not that common. It happened in already 2 Six Nations to have 2 victories and a draw, 2 victories this week and 2 wickets this season. It seems like we completely fucked up. Seems like we lost 6 games in a row, 17 games in a row, because that is the feeling looking at some comments, but probably they're not people that follow rugby, I guess, because if not, they know the process behind. But during this process, there are some big, huge holes, huge potholes where we step in. And this was one of those games where we went inside, but we were not able to came off the pot. Why, Mike? Because the first half we were not that accurate. And how much you think in this game the pressure is being shown on Italy?
I also think like Italy had a big game against England, a very physical game again.
Nutritional.
Just a normal game of Test rugby. Yeah. Just if you look back, and again, like I'm not making any excuses because I do think Wales were really good. They put a lot into that England game, and they put a lot of not just sort of emotional effort. They put a lot of genuine physical effort, and I think it sort of showed. I think, in fact, I think English commentary they were commenting on how many uncharacteristic errors in defence England had against Wales, dropping off tackles and not getting into defensive position, not fighting to get up as quickly as they have been. And I think part of it is, short turnaround, big games against big people, and maybe Otto, to your point against France, maybe we should have rotated more, and maybe we might have had fresher legs. And this is all important lessons for not only the players but for Quesada as well. It's the first time we've had a shorter turnaround. We've lost a bye week, and listen, it's one of those where we were forced to make a lot of changes this Six Nations via personnel and stuff. So even if we could change, he probably didn't want to risk it because he wanted a consistent performance. So that's my opinion of it. And again, I'm I'm not trying to make I'm not trying to take anything away from Wales, but I do think genuinely, and I think anyone that understands rugby could see how fatigued the players were mentally and emotionally in that period.
Yeah, I guess the was there, even if let's say we think maybe it's a situation like a victory, so should be everything positive, right? But the energy, the accuracy that you put in something, you relax a little bit more. I saw during the game a couple of phases that I didn't like. That kind of phases that we used to see after they scored 3 tries, every opposite team in the last years. And probably that hurts a little bit on the effort. And in general, we're looking at the performance. What you said, it's totally true. We lacked some of those tackles. Even if the number says we were dominant in the tackles between the two teams, I think they were much more effective. And probably something that give me a little bit of this idea is also the way the post tackle work, because they were that 5% more back up and ready to play, 46 times ready to boom get up, and we were not that fast. 39 times we were ready after the tackle to get in shape, get ready. They contested less the ball, but they were much more numbers, and they slow down the breakdown better than because we
Yeah,
start moving the ball lateral side, left, right, left, especially also in the second half. But was not working because we were not winning any duel, any one versus one. Only maybe at the end of the game, the spark of Marine gave us, and of course Varney. But we're gonna talk about the bench later. But they bring something. We had the opportunity to score, Mike, in the first half for sure. We had a couple of good attacking platform, but then turnover, it was always there. The turnover, they were always good to put their hands in the breakdown. So here's the work. Here's why it was so good for Wales, I think.
yeah. Also, the stats at half time, I think I saw 101 tackles um, attempted and 27 missed. You can't go in with a 27% miss rate on your tackles. And again, that just sort of really emphasizes, first of all, how good, like you said, how effective Wales were going into contact. But listen, I think, like you said, there was opportunities in the first half. Menoncello, after that turnover, makes that lovely break. Options either side. Does he take the right decision? Does he fix the player? Little things like that. Um, and not accidentally missing the kick at goal where we could have put a little bit of pressure on them. And those are big moments at the start of the game. Not being able to manage the refs' expectations as well and
That's
align
true.
to the refs' view of stuff. Good teams need to be able to do that. And listen, we're not going to talk about anything like that. I think it's probably going to be something where we need to be better to, communicate certain things as a team. The English were doing really well the previous week with what they thought was going on in the scrum. And so, we just need to be better at that stuff. And Lamaro, to his credit, I think is a lot better. I think this is the best I've seen him build that rapport with the referees and stuff. So there's an element there as well, which always comes into it.
He's putting more chat.
Chat, exactly. Yeah, chat.
He's trying to understand more, to listen, not only say Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. No, he's trying to also face this because at the beginning we always been okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We go back a little bit of the zebra approach, Mike, because
Well,
probably
it's
what
weird, isn't it? Because like Sergio also did that at the end of his career, right? He actually was going in and he was like disagreeing, right? Whether he did it in the right way or the wrong way, like I'll let other people judge. But he was going to the effort because he's a competitive man. But you don't see it's a very not it's not a done thing with Italian like players. I think like obviously we want to be so far apart from the football that we don't even question. You see the under 20s like where there's like a ridiculous decision, they'll just get on with it and deal with it, and which is nice to have that resilience, to have that stoicism, right? Like they're stoic, but sometimes you do need to just a word or two, Otto. That's all you need. Plant the
guys,
seed.
yeah, we're gonna go a little bit deeper. I'm gonna show you, Mike, something how from an attacking platform position, how we went backward, lost the turnover, and they scored the first try. So we're gonna watch a little bit of videos about that. We are not gonna dig a lot into stats today because the review is long. And literally, I'm on my first watch of this game. Yes, I know. I love sadomaso stuff, seems like, right? But don't forget to subscribe because it's always important for us. Drop us a comment. But here we go. Hola, hermano, we should say, with Tom from in Spain.
Hi,
So,
Tom.
¿qué tal? ¿Cómo vamos por ahí? Mike, I'm gonna show you this so we can go into the game and then talk a little bit about what was wrong, communication, decisions, Mike, in this game. Okay, we have this situation in attack, 12 minutes in. Okay, here in this
Quickly
moment.
before you jump in, if you're listening to the podcast, come on YouTube so you can see what Otto's talking about.
Yes, of course, right? Of course, you should do it. You should do it right now because here there is this attack by Italy. Here the Blacks try to attack on the edge behind the pod. We stretch the Wales defense numbers on because they are all standing up. Let me put it twice, a little bit more speed. We go with Linag, okay? And from here, there is a couple of decisions that for me, we should think about it because you are in the corner. I know you have Menoncello in the rack. You have a winger and you have a 15 in the rack. And you have one forward, okay? Which is Lamaro in this situation. But more or less, you're already in shape. You're in shape. You have a 10, you have a 12 around the pitch, and you have another winger, okay? From here, what we do is we attack with a pod with this ball a little bit low. That was probably few of the issues with this ball for Fusco. Not always sharp pass. Sometimes also one pass up for Asa. He has to jump to catch that ball. But here we go. We have the block of 4 players in the middle, 2 players outside, 3 players in this case. But one can always came away to play more. From here, Mike, we have 12 and 15 moving in the around this rack, coming back because they were in the previous one. And from here, look the situation. So we know that they have 3 players on the left. Okay, still fighting to put this ball. Look how much Botham works on this possession. Okay, still there, bothering until bothering until the end, and then Lamaro has to go there. Clean up. We're ready. We still have shape, Mike. The shape is there. Look what is the call from this shape. Look at Fusco. Let me see if he's going up. Fusco from here is asking the team to move on the other side again. So you're letting move. And I'm gonna stop here, Mike. You have forwards ready to attack, to move on the other side, to move a little bit, few defenders. When you have a shape 3+1 from the forwards, you have a 12 behind the shape of the first 3. You have Meroncello coming axis with Brex, or he can come and run inside outside axis with Garbisi. You have the hard runner with Ruzza. You have Pani already in the shape, and you have the winger. And look how tight they are. And we usually also play the ball with the third player, which is Lorenzo Cannone here, hard runner with Ruzza, and we play behind to stretch the defense. What we do here, we attack and we go on the other side. So lose time, lose momentum because you stretch them already. And what we do after this, Mike, what we do? Do you remember here what we do?
Holding on. Okay.
Kick in the corner. We go in the corner now from this situation with two players flat, not running, because look where is Menoncello, look where is Breck, they are not ready to run. We send two players under that ball in the corner, okay? And in all of this, we have chasing 11, 15, 12, 13 in the middle, Garbisi kicked, there's nobody behind, okay? There's nobody behind. Riz Ahmed, kick of the year for him because he's not that good as a kicker. He put this ball here. We go under pressure, and what happened when Fusco got this ball here? Step the first one. Look where is me under the ref, and where is Garbisi. Garbisi has to go through the gate, so it has to go around and in position. Me can put the hands on that ball. Same for the number 6, I think, of Wales in this moment. And of course, you're going to lose this turnover. What happened from this situation? Oh, actually, it's me, turnover. From this situation, line out, one phase, two phase, and they score. Strategically, I didn't get too much this situation. Why we go back on that side? We empty that spot to then attack down there with no cover behind. With not a kick that you can go and compete for it.
I think, like, and this is me just guessing, right? I think what they were
Yes,
trying
please.
to do is trying to tighten up even further, and the call was to get Ioane on the crossfield. Obviously, it's one of those where they got close with that crossfield kick, right?
A couple in the first 20 minutes, 15 minutes, they do two or three. One territorial, like grabber style, and the other to compete, but
Yeah,
long, so no good kicks.
yeah. So I think that's probably like, and again, this is me just reading between the line because, like you said, it looked like they were set to actually take an attack, and they were numbered well. They numbered up well. So I don't know. I'm guessing that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Then there is the other situation. So, man, I neither think about it, Tom. I have no idea. I'm going to relook now and I'm going to rewatch and watch. But I'm trying to understand more what we do moving around. Leaving this situation, the contest on the ball, we spoke already last week how Lamar was, which side was Mike when he entered into the gate against England,
It
right?
doesn't matter if you get your neck wrapped up, mate.
But play on when the ref play, right? So um, for that, there are other situations. We ask us about the kicking, who should kick sometimes. The TV show, the moment Pani asked Paolo, seems like, can I kick it? No, you can't, because then it's Garbisi taking that line out. So still some situation that we know. But then, Mike, in general, I think this team was not that ready. There was more hunger, more physical stamina, more electricity from the players that came from the bench. So probably coming back to your point that you said maybe the rotation before would have helped Italy. Do you think that was this now looking back was a team that needed to change and maybe put those expert players or other players in the second half and
I don't
start with
know.
fresh young guns that want to blaze everybody?
So I don't know because obviously I said around about the half time that we should probably be rigging in the changes, but they just looked tired, mate. They looked exhausted. There was a point, yeah, exactly, Lorenzo. They look exhausted. There was one point where I can't remember exactly when it was. It was off it was near the the touchline. I think it was from a line out where the ball got turned over, and also just stood there like complaining, like he was complaining to someone, just stood there complaining, like he wasn't running back. Right? If you're like, the first thing you should do is react. If you want to have a go at someone, you have a go after when the ball's stopped. So, and he hasn't played that much rugby, so I don't know what to like. They just look tired. But the second half, to your point, I think having young Varney on, passes were crisp. Like you sort of realise what you've missed in that in
Man,
that
we had 40
20
minutes of
minutes,
Varney,
30 minutes
20
where he
minutes.
had the ball, because it was so crisp. His tempo was so good. Like, and this Six Nations, we did really well with full score. We did really well with Ali Garbisi, but then you just sort of remember, right? So to all of the people that were talking, I'm like, recency bias, recency bias. Remember how good Varney is. He comes on, the passes to inch perfect, like, and crisp and quick, and it enabled us to get front football, and it enabled us because we weren't, the players didn't have to check their runs because it was going too high, too wide, left, right, up, down. They were to
And
the
when he
hands,
when
and
he
they
got the penalty, just opening his arms in front of the ref.
didn't even need to say anything, right? So sometimes it's about the quality of distribution which enables us to play our game. I haven't checked, and I'm sure you probably have. How quick was our ruck speed after Vardy came on? I bet it was
Oh,
much quicker,
I
much
will
quicker.
check on the smart ball review, and I'm gonna send you all the review to see how quick it was. But
Yeah,
you can see from how quick, also because that was the moment that I don't remember if it was with you, some other guy that was saying, let's see the last 20 minutes because Wales start really strong, really strong. It looks like Wales Scotland game. Oh, I
yeah,
told you at the end, we almost did a Scotland
yeah,
because if we were accurate as Scotland was scoring those two tries, Mike, the
yeah,
legs
yeah.
start shaking a little bit more for Wales. We can put more pressure, and we find confidence to score.
Yeah,
Because
we should never have been in that position though. That's the problem, mate.
no, that's the point. Also, let me put this so I don't have the light reflecting. We were not in that position. Let me look at the chat. I'm gonna try, guys, to put the chat on the big screen so you can just look there straight away. New comment display here, so probably there's gonna be more contents coming. Guys, tell me if you can see on the side. So
While
you can
doing
try.
that, I think for me, the best players, the best teams, like consistent. Like, obviously, there's going to be games with adversity. There's going to be games where things don't go your way. But one thing we can say about this team, this young team, people forget how young the boys are. They ain't give up. They ain't give up. Like, they played to the last second. Like, and like you said, Otto, couple of interesting calls um, from the TMO, and some people coming in and maybe not necessarily needing to, clear and obvious after watching it for 5 minutes, 17 different angles. And but listen, at the end of the day, um, that's our DNA. We're fighters, we're tough, and that's something that we can take away and put money in the bank for this team, because they didn't go away. They worked their ass off.
You think there's gonna be a big shake up for this summer, Mike? How many of those players that were in the field today are gonna be left out for the summer? How many of these need to rest? Because that is another point now. Looking only at the national team, what do you think? How many of those?
Depends, isn't it? Because, like, we want to have a really, like, strong, concise, congealed team ready for the World Cup next year. We also have a really good opportunity of putting some genuine dollars in the bank, right?
Exactly.
And it depends how serious we're going to take this nation's championship. Um, that said, I think what we've learned with the Italy 15 games that we went to and stuff, there are definitely players in that mix that could step up, right? There are definitely players that are there or thereabouts. So as long as like there's not a massive dip in quality, we need to start building our depth, like you said. So I'm hoping we see a hybrid team. I don't want to see similar to how we did it last summer. If we're going to make changes, right, and we're not looking to win every single game in the Nations Championship, which, by the way, South Africa would definitely be the team that try and win everything, right? Because winning becomes a habit.
Exactly.
Then we're going to have to find a balance. I don't want to see completely like France C D level team, and I want to
Not that,
see
but
also
there are those players that are pushing hard. Tom, there are 3 games. They're gonna be the first one against New Zealand. The second, no, sorry,
Japan, right?
Japan, New Zealand,
Yeah,
Australia. This is
yeah,
how we're gonna play those three
yeah.
games, and then there's gonna be the other game is gonna be at the end to see
And then
how.
so it goes like this. It goes 3-3, and then it goes 2v2, 5v5, 1v1. So
Exactly.
basically, imagine two conferences, and then
One against
whoever's
the other
top one,
conference.
yeah, and then they'll play each other. So,
So we have
and then I
seven
think,
games, Mike. 7 games
yeah,
plus
7 games.
the second, the Italy 15, to hopefully something up. Hey, I'm ready to play another Portugal game with Italy 15 now. It would be so interesting. And
That'd be
congratulations,
fun.
Portugal. Forza os Lobos.
Yeah,
Uh,
congratulations.
guys, they won after all this time. We are on that bandwagon. Commiseration for Bortolami. Let's see what's going to happen next. If he's going to stay, if he's going to leave, because that is also ad interim, right? He's going to stay for I don't know how much. But this is the point.
Lorenzo, actually, really good point there. So Lorenzo saying that we still miss 7 or 8 important players. Maybe we rest the 7 or 8 players that came. So maybe we rest full score. We
Lorenzo
rest
Cagnolo,
Gale Garbisi. We bring Varney. We bring Martin
Ross.
Pedrolo. We bring Vincent. We bring Riccioni. We bring the players that haven't had the opportunity. Great. That's a great idea.
We
I
bring
love that.
Dere Mike.
We
We
bring
start
Dare.
Marin. We let Brex rest. That for me is key. We have to play without Brex this summer. We have to do our best. Maybe Brex is gonna play that New Zealand game or maybe the Australian game, because of course now there is more pressure on that. But in general, we need also to grow on that side. We need
Mm.
those players to play. We need Asa to have more test match before the World Cup, Mike.
The problem is, Otto, we don't have the money. We don't have the money to bring
More
players that
than
are only going to play one game, right? Although, ironically, we do. We did it with like,
we did with other players. They came
yeah,
and never played. May was one of them.
yeah. But we always do it for players who are like of interest to the national team. Like we don't do it with experienced players. But
Mike,
I'm interested to.
Tom, 7 games, three now, 3 and 4 in November. Okay, this is how they're gonna be these games. Correct, Mike? Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So in top, but this summer only 3.
I'm interested to see sort of how the Italy 15 players do, because I assume, like you said, Darre Montemauri's probably on
Montemurro
like
did
some
so
sort of
well.
radar. May, like you said as well, he might be someone that might be interesting to see at national team level.
Jack Ferrari is the
Yeah,
other one
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
we should see there. We have to. I'm interested to try new combos with another 11 with Johanne resting Johanne for the summer, even resting Linag. We have some. I know we don't have a lot of players, guys, maybe because we have also the injury long term Todaro. But I think we need to put Paolo Dogo in a situation where he has to work hard this summer so he knows where to
Gallagher.
work. Man, this was a game where I would have, I thought Gallagher was great to play behind and maybe, but just after the game, of course, if Ioane uh, was rested, maybe Pani on the wing with Gallagher, double 15 in that way. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
combo would be interesting to see. But all of this, let's talk 1 second about Quesada, Mike, because Quesada is growing as a head coach as this team. and probably I don't know if it was because the, the coach has to take some responsibilities, even if he's not playing in the field. But a couple of situations probably Quesada could have been better earlier. Mm, Earlier change, as you said, as you mentioned, I was changing three players at half time. Uh, Garbisi, the brothers, and Brex out. Let's bring people with energy. We were low. We were down the score. Let's keep it because there are players that
Cardiff in
need.
full score, yeah.
Sorry, Fusco. Yes, no, Garbisi. Fusco. So Varney, in Allan. I thought Allan there. I thought maybe Pani should have stayed in the field for on the wing for Ioane, Allan in the back, bring Marin for Brex too. That was my three right away 40 minutes change those players and then let's see what is going to happen. I know it's a big call because we know also what happened last week half time there were too many people chatting, so I guess was boiling the locker room of Italy at half time, so maybe that was kind of so like a break between locker room and coaching stuff maybe, but probably that was needed, Mike, looking at the game because they brought so much energy in the game that we needed that energy much earlier in the game, my opinion.
Yeah, it was definitely there was a definite momentum shift when our bench came on, and our bench is strong. We knew like our bench has been strong the last probably couple of seasons that you've seen. But yeah, listen, like we gave ourselves too much work to do. The boys that came on were great. Marin, obviously, be really interesting to see sort of again. You know, you were talking about Barney maybe should have stayed on. If we really needed to take uh, those players off, maybe we could have done something with putting part. You know, like maybe take put Marin at 10 and put one of the other players experiment slightly, like if we really wanted to, Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see sort of what Quesada that you mentioned, right, is going to be taking from this game because yes, he's a fantastic coach, and yes, we want him to stay a lot longer than what he's currently contracted, but also we've got to understand that he's still learning as an international coach. It's very different to a lot of the top 14 experience that he's had. And these are lessons that, are going to make him a much, much better coach as well. And these are experiences that hopefully he learns from. So listen, we are growing as a team. We are growing as a coaching team. We are growing as a nation. But, these are lessons that need to be learned.
Yeah, it's bitter as we said at the end. It looked like you had a really good antipasto. You sit and you have a great antipasto against Scotland. You have something good, but missing something, or maybe the dish was not the right temperature for the other two dishes that come. Then you have this fantastic bel piatto di carne, Mike. But then il dolce non è buono, Mike. It's a little bit wasted. This whipped cream on top of the last cake. That was the Welsh game. Quesada is growing, is committing mistakes because he's also in a position where
Experimenting, taking risks.
he
Yes.
never did it before. He has to learn how to manage some error. Can be
Yeah.
the mistakes with the bench against France. We saw what happened. Can be the changes now. Can be the selection around. But he's growing with us, and this should be, as you said, 2031 at least, because we need a long cycle, long view on what's happening. Even more now that you have a 2+2 contract with Mr. Wayne Pivac at Treviso that can gonna shake up everything with a player like him. Marchiato today has been announced as director of recruitment, so he's gonna be il braccio, the long arm of Pavanello on the market because Pavanello is gonna do a different kind of work. There's going to be for sure Octagon Rugby, the agency around with all the good South Africans coming, project players, but then also it's going to be interesting to see because Marcato knows so well the Italian rugby that can see the good players to pick around, young player going around. An example, do you remember the Ascari? He's playing in Serie C this year, the prop that sings. Okay,
Yeah.
he's not in Cologne anymore because Cologne break up, no? Went bankrupt. So he's playing Serie C. Maybe they're gonna move to Serie B, but he's playing Serie C. My God, not possible that players like them now Serie A elite. Now you're playing in Serie C. So Marcato is gonna be eyes everywhere, and it's gonna be really interesting because he has also the view with the youngster. So different develop there that is gonna help us more and more and more. Let me see.
Lorenzo, that's a really interesting thing. I wanted to comment on that. I don't think I
Comment,
agree,
please.
to be honest. I think the type of rugby we want to play, teams have been very effective at stopping us playing. So like lying on the wrong side of the rucks, dark arts, slowing the ball down. That's as soon as we have quick ball, we see how we want to play. We see how we want to try and sort of attack in the channels and take it wide and go wide if we need to. But you need quick ball to do that, and we haven't had the opportunity. And the best teams aren't going to necessarily give it to you. So that's where we need to have quicker attacking rucks and try and be sort of more organised, like the Irish have been, like the French, like the Scottish have been. Sorry, in the last two games in particular, where they weren't giving anyone the opportunity to slow the ball down. They were just on it.
I'm going against this, Mike, saying that for me, what we are doing now with Quesada reflect a lot what we saw with Quesada playing in Stade Francais, coaching Stade Francais. For me, this is the style of rugby. Now, because we need quick ball, we need also to avoid a lot of rack. And for that, we are approaching a lot this aerial game to get more ball on a scramble defense to counter-attack, following 2-3 principle to counter-attack. Let's counter-attack straight away, 2 passes away on the side.
Go for first phase
for
ball,
me,
yeah.
is that. Something positive is we spoke with MVP this afternoon about this situation. We need to work more on the physicality because we are not a team that can just fight on physicality, so we have to find other ways to break, but we have also to score tries, which is something we said before the game. We need to score no matter what. We can score with a maul. That's something that we didn't see that often, but we need to score more tries in general. That is the big issues with us, was before and was now. You said in the video about with the Connor She we scored more tries. Now we are the lowest level. It's true. We are getting performance and victories, W's, where usually it's a loss for us because the level of the team is better. But still, the way is so long. Let me see, Paolo. Let's see. Do we need to settle on a first choice number 9 now? Injuries haven't helped. This is for me the answer already, but it feels like the one position we don't have stability. That and 15, I will add, Paolo. We have those two situations where we change more, 9 and 15. The rest of the team, from 11 to 14, actually 10, 14, the team is that. It's not going to change that much. Brex, Menoncello, Marin, those are the 3 players around. Ioane Lainag the starting, but behind we changed too much. If wasn't for injuries, for me, Varney was starting all these games, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, like you just
What do you think,
saw.
Paul, about it? Because that is interesting too. What do you think, guys? Is it 9, 15 the situation where we need stability? The rest of the team, it's been this with Quesada. Then last summer we had a different approach. Let's see how it's going. It's gonna move forward. A Pani move to a better side would be appreciated. Somebody would be so mad at that. But where, cacolo? To Treviso or somewhere else? Yeah, that is also the point, right? Where should move Pani if it's not there? Varney is our 9. Okay. Pani is the only real 15. Boom. Okay, we have the Varney start more as long as he fit Calex. Ciao, Calex. I didn't see you before. So Varney the standing and Fusco is the finisher. This is what you're saying, guys. France or England? Oh, I would love to see. You know where I want to like to see Pani with stripes, white and red. That would be funny for me to see. Pani at Gloucester, I would love to see that, but it's not gonna happen. Could Todaro play 15? Todaro is born as a 15. He can play every position from 12 to 15, every position. But he's injured long term. So let's see. He's a Rhino Smith when he play 15. Okay, that kind of player, but much more cheap kick behind, counter attacking that way. Belloni 15 at Zebra. Let's see, Mike. Who is the player that surprised you the most from the Welsh team?
Don't know if they surprised me. I think they all played really quite well, to be honest. Adams had an exceptional game. He was brilliant. Yeah, he was just brilliant. It was just positive rugby, finding a way, good in the air when he needed to be, like good at breaking the odd tackle. He was just, yeah, it was probably one of his better games I've seen in a long time. To be honest, he was good.
I'm asking Kakol about Trulla too because this is another player that was in a really positive situation before moving,
Got injured.
Before getting injured. Italy, Mike, from this situation, you think with the scrum, do we have a problem at 3?
I think, listen, like if you had one ref, it might go one way. If you had another ref, it might go another way. I don't think there's an issue with 3. I just think there's probably a discussion now that Choni's better, whether he might start over Hasa or whatever. There's also like lots of opportunity there for a lot of players. I'm actually going to bring and say my opinion on the fullbacks and stuff because I think there's quite a lot that will, like I said, people just sort of forgetting that Belloni had a couple of good games. Like you said, Trulla before that. There's so many players that we have that could play 15. Pani is more, I agree, what you would consider like a test level 15. He's really tall, he's 6'4" as well. He's good in the air. He's brave. He's got a nice boot, but there's also that decision making which he needs to sort of try and get experience doing, which is going to be tough, right? So just give him time, but there's other 15s that I think we have that could do a good job as well.
Yeah, I'll see on that.
Gallagher, perfect example at Calix. Perfect.
I mean, the name is not just because we like to give names, like how it's been called until now, because he is that player and he was playing so well in that game midweek between the Six Nations. I was sure he was getting called up for this, at least to train, because he's that kind of player that puts you huge bomb in the air, and you need those because every team put that on us. Mark, looking at the full Six Nation, which area is the one we improved the most and the one that we should be worried about in our game?
I think obviously it's easy to say, the scrum was good. It's easy to say the lineup wasn't. But those are the genuine 2 options. There's no point having scrum dominance if you don't have a functioning like offensive lineup, because it just negates all of the good work that the forwards do the phase before. So for me, what we need to see is a better line out. Low to mid 90s in percentage wise, perfect, right? But we need to be better at that. And make sure that we're actually creating those attacking platforms, securing the ball, and then after we've secured the ball, directly afterwards, that phase when we've got that attacking platform, I want to see us do better, because so many times we're just knocking it on, like shite pass just doesn't go to hand, hits the floor, goes scrambling, or goes too far backwards, scrambling backwards. Those are the little things for me that makes a big difference. If we get that right in the summer, like we're going to start scoring more tries, especially when we start kicking into the 22. Maybe again get Pani to kick a couple of
I wish,
those.
mate.
Get Marin to kick on the other side if it's a right foot opportunity. Like we've got players that can kick out of hand. I think we just need to play to
You know
our
what I was
strengths.
thinking about this, the kicking, this panic busy stuff. MVP said, I'm gonna mention him because he said it with me. Maybe is it's because it's not the 10 we're expecting to be, and is why Toulon is in the last 2 years, even with Garbisi on, always look for another 10, a good 10, a different 10 that manage the attack more the line. Look at Albornoz now. But also I saw that Garbisi a lot of times is not the kicker to goals, to score the 3 points at Toulon. He's not the kicker for the line out many times at Toulon. And he's not the, let's say, il regista of the team because when you have Seren, you know how is the day, right? Seren decide to attack, grab grab her 3 times and scoring a try, doing something weird and offload. So it's really there's not much space for him to have all this responsibility. So I think on this his side also, I'm gonna take now the chance because who's gonna tell me not to do it in a positive way? Like they're the coach, Mignoni, Masi, Paris, whoever you want, tell me no, let kick that guy. No, that guy is the kicker for the left. That is the you're gonna kick only those ones. He can take everything in the national team and he's keep taking all the opportunity. Maybe
There's a famous saying, Otto, which is alone we can do so
it's
little, together we can do
yeah.
so much. So if you're going in with the mentality that I'm the guy and this is it, and listen, I love that. I like it's a very like English, like the Anglo sphere will love that. They love that like confidence trait. That's why they love Henry Pollock and stuff like because it's like I'm the guy, right? Like there is an element to that, but also rugby is a game played with 15 people on a pitch. So like if there's people who have certain strengths, right? And I'm talking about it's a game for all, right? We look at a prop, right? They're not gonna always kick 50-22s unless they're Nemer. But they're going to be able to do something different to the other person. If there's a person that has a strength, a skill better than yours, then as a coach and as a teammate, then you're going to want to try and get them to do that little bit more, like get them to kick that little bit further, make it slightly easier on the forwards, on the rolling more. Like little things like that just make a massive difference at test rugby. Like you fight for an inch. If you can kick the ball 10 meters further,
Get it.
pass it to the guy that can kick it 10 meters. But like you're literally fighting. So how many phases have we seen where you're just hitting into a concrete wall? Like 10 phases, you've
Mike
done
is the
two
same.
meters. Easy kick. Easy kick, mate.
Or if you have a Pozzolo Twilaggio, a big guy like Will Skelton, you give the ball to go into contact to that guy. You don't leave the ball to Varney to go for a crash ball, no? Just
Perfect example. And one thing I want to finish off here. I was so jealous watching Portugal in that second half yesterday, where they were slotting kicks from 55 meters
crazy.
out, playing test rugby. The Georgians didn't know where they could give a penalty because they were going for
Small.
every
Just too
opportunity
small.
to
Even
kick. Yeah,
small.
well, they didn't know where they could give on the pitch, right? In the 40 to their 40, they didn't know where they could give a penalty because the Portuguese were trying to kick everything over. In in tournaments, in finals, in knockout rugby, it's not the team that scores the most tries, it's the team that kicks the best, right? Because they're normally low scoring games.
Talking of scoring, kicking, look at we said before the game. Look at Dano Edwards, the 100% kicking ratio. Look at the drop kick he scored. It was fantastic.
That was insane.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Here there are two things that I want to learn a little bit more. First of all, Jan Smith is a genuine option for Italy at 10. Time will tell, but first, is it a genuine option for Bennett on 10? That should be the question now. we don't should not trash this guy. Hey, maybe this summer he's gonna play with Italy 15. Can he play Italy 15? Maybe
Right.
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
A call there. Maybe he's gonna have 40
Yeah.
minutes one game, and then Montemauri is gonna come in and
Well, that's it. He's competing then with Monte Mauri. That, like, I think someone in our chat or someone when we were doing maybe the live last time said, and I underline this twice. We need to have more credible, positive pressure on Garbisi. And what they meant by that is if we start building depth, you know, in quality, that's going to raise his game. Like Garbisi and Allen for a long time were competing for a spot, and that drove Garbisi to get better. We've got Garbisi, we've got Allen, we've got Darre, we've got Montemauri if he's coming out and as a 10 instead of a 15. Then you start layering Gene Smith in. All of a sudden, we have 5 credible opportunities to grow. So, yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. This is about the kickers. I don't think, honestly. I mean, if it's deliberate, it's crazy. My opinion. Maybe I don't understand anything, but no, we should go there. We should try to push them, push them, push them. Also because if we put them there, we have space outside for our backs, and probably we have players that can run the ball outside. So that for me, let me feel what is about. I didn't get this. I don't know, Mike, if I'm losing. I missed something. At the okay.
Mm, I think that means I think Phil's talking to what Kakolo's comment is about not
Oh,
kicking it
okay.
purposefully to the 5 meters.
Wales really had a spark on Saturday. They had another energy, and don't blink. Quesada, maybe Varney could have started, maybe another back row, but who knows? I guess it's saying.
Yeah, for sure. What I will say as well, you're talking about back row. Young Vincent came on
And
at the
scored.
weekend and took 40 minutes for him
Easy
to
peasy.
score. The guy just got a nose for the try line. So yeah, congratulations on your return, Ross. Brilliant to see you back, mate.
One
So
of the two
yeah, go
musketeers,
strong, mate.
as usual, with Zambo. Mike, Zambo Ruzza. And
I've got to be honest, right? Rutzer looks tired, and I don't know why.
I
He's been
don't know
playing
why.
less.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. He's been playing less. I don't know if that was an intentional thing. Maybe I don't know. But Zambonin looks great. Like Zambonin, we called it 2 seasons ago that he was going to be that player. But we'll see, mate.
Let's see what's gonna happen because when you said like Luke Taylor said, yeah, but he didn't play that much rugby, seems to me. So
No.
let's see. Favretto, yeah, Favretto is of course the guy that we put
Yes.
there because he showed some grit when he came in. Him and Odiase, nice power from the bench. So let's see how
Yeah.
it's been. Mike, let's talk about the other two games quickly, few minutes just to wrap up on this. Then we're gonna have a better review. But the two games, Mike.
Yeah.
Scotland, Ireland, almost reopened by Scotland, but Ireland seems to be much more in control in Dublin, organizing everything. But we almost dreamed to be the team that stopped the winners, but didn't happen.
Yeah, man. Like, what a game! Like, to be honest with you, the last weekend, um, the Super Saturday was brilliant. Like seeing how much heart like the Scots played with, and seeing like how much the Irish have grown in this Six Nations. Obviously, like you said, we'll do a full review, just generic review, less Italian focused. But man, like what a game! What a game! And again, like the freedom the players had to express themselves in that game, like both defensively and offensively, and how much it meant to them. That was a special game.
How about
So
the
yeah,
last game of the Six Nation, which was the game giveaway?
yeah,
They love to kick behind this defense. That is my thing about this game. look how you have to kick behind a defense that is rushing on you, or when has to close gap because there is maybe numbers on the opposite side. So you know what? I'm gonna kick it behind. We're gonna run, get the ball, and score. It was fantastic. Biel Barret, France.
LBB 4 tries,
Biel
wasn't
Barret
it?
4 tries. It's crazy to think how good he is, how fast is that guy.
Yeah, how quick he is. That box kick, where it's just something. It's just silly, and also that could have been a penalty try as well. He didn't care. He got back up. He scored the try. Didn't complain. Man, like, yeah, he's a quality player.
It's interesting here what they're saying, but of course, France deserved the win at the end just for the amount of good rugby that we saw in this game. England was so close. There is chess, some crazy good game.
You,
Scoring far
you know what's
away,
funny?
Graham.
Have you seen the South Park meme? Have you seen the South Park meme where Randy gets his balls massive and he's walking with the
Oh,
wheelbarrow?
I saw it about
Like,
Italy last week, but it's be
oh
reused.
right, okay, that was Ramos on the last kick where he just wheelbarrows his massive bollocks to kick that ball over. Just man, like, oh, just yeah, it was. Yeah, again, it's so sad that I'm jealous about goal kickers. Like that's a bit sad, isn't it? Like I'm thinking, geez, like that pressure. I was thinking about everything. I was thinking about the under 20s with Italy trying to beat France for the first time, and like all of that comes into place. And then I'm just like, there's some teams that don't have to worry about
The
that at all.
vengeance of Dominguez. I don't know what happened. That is probably. We have
Oh
Tommy
man,
Allen that is
yeah,
good.
that's it.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah,
Tommy,
yeah, yeah. And he took his last kick, right? He scored and kicked as well. Nice to see
come
Tommy
on.
back,
We
eh?
need more Tommy. Also to give a little bit more, less pressure, organizing everything to Garbisi if we keep playing Allen 15. Because Allen
Yeah.
kicks, Dare kicks, Montemauri when he's in the field kicks, all these players kicks. Man, it's crazy. Garbisi is not a kicker, but kicks for us. It's so hard, I think,
Yeah,
also to
yeah.
focus, to train, but not putting in practice in a game.
I played. I watched the game with like one of my good friends, who's like pretty good standard, like fly half, and he was like his technique is so weird. He's left footer as well. He's like his technique is so weird. Like he's too over the ball. He was like he doesn't when he's at impact, like he's not leaning back enough so
Of
the ball
course,
doesn't go high. It's like low trajectory and curves round. And he's like, that's a really like poor technique for high accuracy. So even like do you know what I mean? Like even someone who understands kicking slightly is like maybe.
maybe it's not the time, but hey, let's see. Mike, if you have to give un voto to this Italy's team
Mm,
after
mm.
the Six Nation,
7 out of 10.
fair,
I think there's room to
exactly.
grow. I think we're very, very happy with the 2 wins.
Seems like
I
we
think it's
fucking forget
better.
we won against Scotland and England. Seems like
Yeah,
already gone.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, to be fair, maybe 8 out of 10. Like the thing is for me is I don't like giving high scores, not because I don't think the team deserve it, but because I think the team can be better.
The
Like I
potential,
thought we could be better
the
against
chance,
England. I think we could be better last game. So if I'm talking
of course.
performance, right? I think I'll tell you what, I would say performance against Scotland 8 out of 10, right? 9 out of 10 maybe. No, 8 out of 10. Performance against Ireland 9 out of 10. I thought we were better then. Performance against France 7 out of 10. Performance against England maybe 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Performance against Thingy 7 out of 10. So overall, let's say 8 out of 10 just to be fair. But
Okay.
that's what I think.
What about Quesada?
Um, 8 out of 10 for him as well. I think they sort of go hand in hand. There's lots that he needs to learn as a test level coach, but he's so good. He's so good for us, and his stock has gone so high. I just want to I hope that we can keep him.
I go with a 7 and a 7. But, so.
Nice. Yeah,
Guys, what do you
nice.
think? Let us know. Of course, now or later. Don't
Yeah.
forget to subscribe to this channel. Guys, if you have other question, we are happy to answer your question quickly because it's been 1 hour now that we spoke about this game and future. As usual, we always see where this team can go, what is missing. Because then, guys, the game has been easy to read. The first half badly, they scored 2 tries. We tried to convert points. We got turnover instead of points. Then was too late to score. Some decisions were there for us. Also losing 1 minute for the scrum, and then the scrum is being reset when you want to go. When Garbisi asked for the corner, Rudza asked for the scrum, and then they reset, and another minute was out. So, Thomas conmigo, 7-7 para los dos. Okay, at least. So we have a 7 and we have a 7. Then let's see what they're gonna say the rest. But
I assume that meant English refs. Oof.
yeah, the F and the G
let's-
are close. Reds, I don't think. The English Reds, which is far away, yes. The ref. I will say I will write this instead. I'm gonna write it in the chat. Okay, this guy needs to be less nosy. No, he put his nose everywhere. Should be just zip.
Otto, if you can spend 20 minutes
The forward
watching
pass.
50 different angles, it's clear and obvious, right? It's clear. Let's stop the game. In fact, I want to know every time there's an infringement, I want us to stop the game for 5 minutes, and then I want to start the game next week when we have to restart the game. Because if we're looking at every little thing that happens, let's just pause the game indefinitely. In fact, we'd still be playing the game now if it was up to that
So,
team. We'd still
Paul
be
is
playing.
asking. So, Mike, you met Seb last week in Piazza del Popolo.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't know if I can say, but
Okay, I'm gonna say something
soon.
else. So I spoke with another guy that saw Seb. Probably, if it's all good, let's see, a month like that. He's training, which is positive. Probably in a month. Let's see. We need the breaking wall player. I missed him a lot in the Six Nation, to be honest. Some situation where just ball to him, smash, reorganize. That I missed a lot of Seb in this. Well, we had Odiase, but we didn't use it that much, or Favretto for somebody else. Okay, because Favretto I hear about a lot now, Simo and Robert about that. But let's see what's gonna happen. Mike, we go back to URC. URC boys. Man, nothing to ask. I'm waiting for the Challenge Cup, to be honest. Ride or
Yeah,
die,
man, it's gonna be
in the
interesting.
Challenge Cup with the URC for Treviso can be shocking if they're that good to get now up, because the season they have points here and there that where they can score, they will, but who knows? Who knows? Because Treviso also
Need to learn how to score tries off.
we have to score tries. That's the key. We have to score tries. So a lot of space for Zanon, for Fekito. I think in Treviso, after this level, yes, a bit is depressing.
Oh, mate, I can't wait for the URC. I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait. I think like now, we normally see the Italian teams perform better when they've been in camp for the last 6-7 weeks. I'm
They're
so
gonna do
excited.
something else.
I'm so excited. I love the back end of the second half of the URC more than the first half, in my
We need
opinion.
victories
I
in
love
this
it.
second part of the season, but we're gonna speak about this next week with another who is Ratave.
Just pass the ball to him. Yeah, it's fine.
Palla a Ratave e s'abbracciamo, we should say in Rome, right? A
Yeah.
Ratave, ball to Ratave, and everybody start tagging because it's gonna make meters. My God.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you to be with us, to stayed with us tonight. Don't forget again to subscribe to the channel. And Mike, let me say this before we leave. Guys, I made graphic, video, and this guy on my side is not saying courses for courses. And it's been 2 full episodes that I cannot put anything. They're there. We're gonna wait for it. He knows it. That's the point. He knows it. That's why he's not saying that. It's there. Mike, ci vediamo settimana prossima. Ciao the boys.
Ciao.
Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.